Alright, let's try to do this. CARtalks, thought of the day. Been really getting into, or studying extensively in great detail, the beginning of I guess the 20th century, the first World War, or what it was originally called, was the Great War, I believe, but it wasn't called World War One because World War II hadn't happened yet. And then leading up into World War II, and the rise of the Nazi regime and Adolf Hitler and his background and all the people that were involved, and ultimately what they called was the final solution, is a euphemism for what they were going to do to the Jewish community, because at that time anti-Semitism was totally common. And Adolf Hitler, the more I dig into it, it's like I can't help but see these similarities between he and I. I'll go into that another story, but that'll be a story for another day. But he got radicalized. And wrote his book, his infamous book, Mein Kampf, Mein Struggle. And the guy was he was a genius. There's no doubt that he's a radicalized, sadistic, evil dictator. There's no question. But the guy was like a genius. How did this guy, who had a modest upbringing, was able to influence, the right number and right amount of people in Germany at that time, and create this new party? It was like the Germans' Worker Party or something like that, but it was abbreviated, and it's, became the Nazi Party, and that was the birth of, the rebranding of the swastika, which was actually so ironic that it got turned into like something good. Like the swastika was represented a lot of hatred and evil for a lot of people, but it was an ancient symbol that had been used for thousands of years, that usually meant like goodwill or peace and prosperity, or good things. And he hijacked this symbol, and so the point, the thought, if you made it this far, 2.5 minutes into it, the point of the thought, I had to use that I had to build the foundation so I can build up. But learning in great detail what happened at the Holocaust is sickening. It really is sickening. And every day for at least 2 months now, I've been, finding everything and reading everything that I can about the Holocaust and what happened to men, women, and children. It didn't matter. And I apply that to my own life, and I just ask myself, why all the suffering? Really sit there and ask yourself, why does anyone need, why does suffering exist? And to the level of the Holocaust, people who are survivors, and hearing their stories is just it's at such a level of atrocity, it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make sense to have a bunch of men with guns push you out of your home, and there's a lot that happened before that, but ultimately they pushed them out of their homes, put them into ghettos, and then they transferred them to death camps, labor camps. And what would happen is, they put them on cattle trains that were overloaded with just hundreds of people in one cart, taken to these death camps. And as soon as they got off, they were processed, they were selected, because basically anyone who wasn't fit to work was immediately gassed, with minutes of getting off of the platform, off the train. And so the elderly, a lot of women and children were immediately, they obviously can't work, so they were immediately gassed with Zyklon B. And just to imagine just a sea of bodies. My God, anyone who has denied that the Holocaust has ever happened is an asshole, because they filmed everything, man. The Nazis filmed everything. There's hundreds and hundreds of pictures. It happened, and that level of suffering, why does that exist? I'm not holding this camera up very well, but I'm driving, whatever. Why does that exist? It's almost like it's supposed to exist. Why does suffering exist? Are we supposed to suffer? Yeah, that's the only thing that makes sense to me, even though it's surprising. But like, I don't know why life can really suck. It's like you're lucky if you get these little joyous moments and truly happy moments in life, because the rest of it is just trash. The rest of it, I mean, we live in a hostile world. The universe itself is a hostile place, and I don't know. It is what it is, and I always fall back to the duality, the yin yang, whatever, however you pronounce it, the half and half. It's the good and evil, the light and dark. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. But it's, why the suffering? Why do I have to suffer through the things that I suffer through? And any person can ask themselves that. You know, multiply that by like 1 trillion. Yeah, I don't know. Ask yourself these questions. I mean, this is really like mind expanding questioning, you know, especially, I'm used to it now. I guess I'm lucky. I don't have as of right now, I don't have like a solid idea